All right, so here we are. It's June 22nd, about 9:30 in the morning. The sun's finally come out after the fog has been burnt off. This is HRM Caesar St. Augustine de Buonaparte, Emperor of the United States of Turtle Island, formerly known as the United States of America, which was overthrown on October of 1996, symbolically on cable access TV, to prove to the American people that they are the terrorists, that they are the child killers, that their tax dollars went to killing innocent men, women, and children long before the 9/11 attacks. Regardless of whether the 9/11 was a conspiracy, an inside job, blah, blah, blah. There were 3 people that killed John Kennedy. It was a conspiracy in Martin Luther King's assassination. The conspiracy went on to kill Robert Kennedy. I mean, come on. Prime Minister Putin was finally given the oath of office. I read that the other day. And they mention in the news, they say, and immediately he was given the football with the nuclear launch codes. Get this, everybody. Are you ready for that? He's still got nuclear launch codes. This idiot Bilderberg president, Obama, and the one before him, Bush, and the one before him, Clinton, doesn't matter if they're Democrat or Republican, they're all stooges for the big money. And even the actors and actresses of the movies that you go see, they're stooges for the big money as well. And so are the football stars and the baseball stars and the doctors and the lawyers. So then all the people that don't have or have less power than the people that have lots of money or more money than poor people do, because it's like a pecking order. It's just like a pecking order. So no one listens to my videos. Who cares? You know, I left a message on Rampha's phone number because I was talking about What the Bleep. And Melissa, the girl who talks all the interpretive stuff about religion, the daughter of the guy who was always on TV talking about religious things. And you know, you hear all these people, the channelers, even Shirley MacLaine came out, you know, on a wire, you know, whatever the title of the book was, coming about spirituality and souls, and you hear research people tell you about they weighed a man that was dying on a scale, and when they died, there were a few grams that weren't accountable for, and everything was accountable for, that was gone from the body when the person died. So, what? There's a quantum physics soul in every person that only weighs a few grams? It doesn't matter what the figure is, whether it's half a gram or 1/1000th of a gram or a whole gram. It doesn't matter. The point is, like I said before, I'm just waiting to die. Like, my teeth are all cracked from the stress that was caused on me. I really don't believe in violence or killing people. I do believe in dispensing real justice, like what I mentioned yesterday, that I'd go after every person who I even minorly suspected had something to do with destroying my life. But according to that philosophy, that's my own philosophy, that means every last one of you, every American citizen who's ever paid taxes, who's ever gone to vote, is going to end up on that island. No, it has to be the main conspirators. The little ones, the little fish, you don't even want to bother with them. Why would you throw them on an island? They're already suffering. And they're stupid on top of it because they keep going back, practicing insanity, voting for the same people that they voted for before through this electoral system. And everybody's always blaming the president, you know. Oh, the president, you know. I'm going, just because he's got the football doesn't mean the nuclear launch codes. That's what they call it, the football. Just because he's got that. Oh, there you go. I don't know. There was a freeze that took place just now. I don't know what happened. So just because he's got the football, the nuclear launch codes, doesn't mean that he's the one to go talk to, or he's the one that harassed. You got to harass Congress and the Senate. I just did a copy and a paste of something I wrote on some of the Rampa sites. And I put down, because I noticed that on some of the sites, because I'm a presidential candidate, not just the Emperor of the United States symbolically, in the name of all the dead children that have been killed by friendly fire, because that's what I did it for. I did it in 1996. But anyway, there's no shame, there's no compassion in California. Men and women, they're all full of crap, and they always will be. And let me tell you, they vote for the wrong people, they put their money in the wrong places, they don't have their priorities, and they never will. Their priorities are, I'm going to ride my new car, I'm going to pay my payments, I'm going to pay my mortgage payments, I'm going to pay my rental payments, I'm going to be a slave, an unconscious slave on top of it, because I've been introduced to this new lifestyle that gives me a brand new shiny car, which I have to keep feeding all these addicts, the oil companies, the banks, the this. They're all addicts. They're worse than heroin addicts. They're worse than marijuana addicts. They're worse than alcoholics. They're worse than coffee addicts. They're all paying into this system, and instead of you revolting and saying, that's enough, we're as mad, like in the movie Network when Peter Finch told everybody, stick your head out of the windows and say, I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take any more of it. Well, they don't. They're not going to do that, and even if they did, what's it going to change? It's going to change absolutely zit. Nothing. And you know why? Because people have been introduced to this addictive lifestyle. And that's what it is. You know, it's amazing that a person like me can even get it together enough, because to be able to tape these videos totally unrehearsed, it just comes to me in a stream of information, because that's how multitasking my brain is. It's not bipolar. It's fantastically fast. So fast, I'm out of place here. Most people can't handle what I talk about. Quantum physics, chaos physics, spirituality, the mixture of all. You know, the answer and the secret to finding out the unified field theory about gravity, electromagnetism, magnetism, and so on and so forth, that's not the Holy Grail. The unified theory of how to put the puzzle together of what the DNA, quantum physics, chaos physics, fractals, what it all has to really do in order to put everybody's feet in the right direction and get them pushed in the right direction, because they're all going in the wrong direction. You're destroying your oceans. You're destroying people like me. You've already destroyed me. You've taken my cars, my trucks, my boats, and just this April, on the 28th of April, somewhere in there, Howard Summers Towing, a crappy jerk organization that's right across from me over here on Deering Street, took my bus of more than 20 years as my home. And after the Northridge earthquake, it was kind of hard for me to live in it, because I had to throw so much back into it and then move it out of the place that I was in. I mean, it has been a horrible 30 years, the last 10 years being the worst. And you get away with it. I want some huge thing to happen in the Pacific and come over to L.A., a huge 2-mile high tsunami, and wash L.A. away, because that's what it deserves. After taking everything from me, that is exactly what you deserve. All of you. And you even deserve it more, because during the time over the last 3 years that I asked for help, you could see that I was depressed, I was angry, I was desperate, I was going through losses over and over again. Not one person, not one stinking person said, hey Caesar, I can't tell you who I am, I'm extremely rich, I'd like to arrange with you, give me your bank routing numbers, I want to send you 1, 2 million, whatever it takes, just to get you out of this country, because you don't belong here. I see that. But not one person. Not one. I went to Michael Moore. I sent letters to the White House. This is all before they kept coming after me over and over and over again. It is an evil, sick society that you people support, collectively support, because you're all addicted to this new lifestyle, the new inventions that keep being introduced to you. The commercials that introduce these new inventions, the sharper image. You can now have a little camera that flies and do videos all over the place with a little remote control thing. And you can do videos from high up, and who knows how much mischief that'll cause, especially in the hands of the detective trying to find out who's cheating on who. But I mean, it goes on and on. Here they are working on the Orange Line. Wilson's Canoga Feed, a feed store, used to be on Deering over here, and I used to be there for like 4 or 5 years, actually almost 6 years. And that's where I built up my bus, my cars, my boats, and then the city came and started harassing me. And it wasn't because of the Orange Line. This was outright antagonism because I had run for sheriff, I had run for mayor, and they knew who I was and they knew what I wanted to do, which is fire every building and safety inspector, fire all the city managers, all the jerks, find out who's been doing the most damage, and out of here, buddy. Instead, they're still doing damage. I don't care how many improvements they make. The Orange Line, the Women's Center over here on Alabama and Satacoy Street and Canoga Park. I don't care how much they build and supposedly do for the poor. They certainly have not done one D word for me. They haven't done one Hoover damn word for me. So here I am, talking at 12 minutes, ranting and raving, wondering why not one person came forward to help me when I really needed it. On the Ramtha site, I forgot to get into that. I said, I put in Ronald, 6 letters, Wilson, 6 letters, Reagan, 6 letters, 666, the number of the beast. Then I talk about Revelations, that if you go to Revelations and read it from the beginning, you'll see that you can interpret Revelations as the United States is the beast. It began with the Mayflower. The Mayflower, a beast, arose out of the sea. Then the first, it talks about 7 heads on the beast and 10 horns. Horns grow into the head. Well, the 7 heads were the 7 original heads of state. George Washington, his vice president, and 5 other members of the president's cabinet at the time. There were 7. And then it grew. By Reagan's time, there were 17. 10 heads plus 10 horns means, 7 heads plus 10 horns, excuse me, that was a mistake, is 17. Ronald, Wilson, Reagan. And no U.S. president out of all 40 of them, up until the time of Reagan, could you go back and make 666 with their name. But it doesn't stop there. All along, the beast has been there. United States Senate, 666. Oh, yeah, there's a lot of read-in interpretation that you can apply to Revelation 13. Bush is mentioned in that the second beast would rise out of the earth. Well, what grows out of the earth? Bushes, usually. Grass, plants. And bush is a plant. More than just, that's not good grief. That's definitely an ironic statement. Bush is a plant. Yeah, a plant for who? A plant for the beast, 666. But he also represents, his name represents a plant that grows out of the earth, the second beast. And his father was there before him, so the second beast would apply a definition of 2 beasts. 1, 2, the first Bush, the second Bush. So here we are, 14 minutes, and I could tell you a number of thousands of things that I have placed on people's comments all over the YouTube internet. But, you know, none of them ever really jogged anybody into a shock and realize this guy, his teeth are broken. He ground his teeth away because he's not a violent person. But people who are being hurt have to release that anger somehow, and I released it by grinding my teeth at night. All the way through bite guards, even. So, yeah, I harbor a lot of anger because my life has been raped. To make a... For lack of a better word, that's exactly what happened. It was a rape over and over again. Multiple rapes over and over again. of my possessions, raping of my positions in life, rapings of everything. And yet, they're getting away with it. They're getting away with all of it. So what can I do? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Because they're getting their way, and I'm not. And I probably never will.